What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of the Laugh and Death podcast. I'm one of your hosts, David, alongside Fern and Alex.
What's up?
We are a conversational podcast bringing you topics of discussion for your amusement. If you like what you hear and you like what you see, check us out at youtube.com/laughanddeath and our Instagram, instagram.com/laughanddeathpodcast, and even on Twitter at laughanddeath. So here we go, guys. Very first episode.
Yeah. You want to do this for a while?
I've been wanting to do this for a while. I mean, we've been talking about it since, I want to say, like, February,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, months have been going by since I've been thinking about wanting to actually, like, go through with it. And then finally, we ran a pilot, and I felt really confident with that. So I feel like, all right, let's go ahead and give it a shot. And, I mean, here we are, guys.
Giving it the shot, right?
Giving it the shot.
Oh, yeah.
The old college try.
Yeah. Cool. So, who has a topic? Who wants to go first?
I don't know. I think you should go first. You're a host.
Yeah, throw it out there. Let's see. What are we talking about today?
All right, cool. So, let's talk about first jobs. All right. So, exiting my freshman year, I just turned 15. Everybody, freshman year is typically the year for the quinceañera and stuff like that. But obviously, I didn't turn 15. I didn't have a quinceañera. I wasn't Rick. And so they sent me off to Pflugerville, Texas, which is slightly north of Austin and around the Round Rock area. And I started my first job. I went and applied at a movie theater, which was literally right down the street from us, and I sat in on my first interview, and I was so nervous I vomited while in the interview.
Oh God!
I just told him, he was like, so he just tried to create conversation with me, and I just shut up.
You're hired.
I just could not talk, and I just started dry heaving, and he was like, all right, you can go. So that didn't go very well. So I applied also at KFC, and I got the job. When I walked in, they asked me if I was Hispanic. I said yes. And they're like, "Do you speak Spanish?" I'm like, I can butcher it like no one's business, but I understand it, and I can speak Tex-Mex.
Oh yeah,
so they're like, okay, cool. So you can speak to our cooks in the back. And I'm like, all right, no problem.
It's always the cooks, right?
It's always the cooks. Yeah. So I had two managers. I had the store manager. She was this short little white lady, and then I had this second manager, the assistant manager. She was from Brazil, spoke very broken English, and would curse a storm in Portuguese.
Yeah.
So it was just different being from the valley and not being surrounded by, different cultures and stuff like that. So it was eye opening for me. But I mean, I got hired, and then
How long were you there for?
I was there for about 4 months.
4 months. Okay.
Yeah, so I got picked up, and I mean, they were like, all right, cool, we're going to have you work the window. We're also going to have you work the front. You speak English and Spanish. You talk to the cooks whenever we tell them to get to move a little bit faster. I just say, rápido, rápido.
Arriba.
Yeah.
And all the way in Pflugerville.
In Pflugerville.
Wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, I didn't have to...
You think you might have escaped the Spanish a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I've been to Pflugerville too, and it's, I don't know.
I was like, okay, I'm really not going to have to talk to anybody other than the cooks, because everybody in Pflugerville, it's a very diverse area, so... It was cool, and they were like, all right, go ahead and take over the front. So I let the front by myself, and just typical customer service, talking to customers, getting their orders, prepping a little bit. And then one time they called me and they're like, hey man, we need you to come in and come in at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, why? Typically I would go in at 10. I'm like, it's kind of stupid. Yeah. And so they call me in. They're like, hey man, we're gonna have you help us meal prep. And I'm like, oh hell. I told them, I don't touch food. I don't want to do anything with food because I don't want to mess anything up. And they're like, no, it's cool. It's easy. All you're going to do is make coleslaw for us. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I have a phobia of...
Coleslaw?
No, not just coleslaw, but if I can't see through a liquid, it freaks me out. If it's not translucent enough, like soda's fine, orange crush, that stuff I can do. Water, of course. But if it's milky looking, I can't do it.
Orange juice?
I have a phobia. I mean, I can see through it if there's ice in it,
Yeah.
Orange juice is great.
Yeah.
But they told me, all right, we're gonna go ahead and have you meal prep for us. So they brought out this giant plastic trash can, and I'm like, what is this? And they're like, oh, this is you're gonna make coleslaw. And I'm like, I thought it was gonna be like a little container where I just like mix it, you know? They're like, no, you have to like put your hands in there. And so they hand me these long ass gloves, kind of like, have you ever seen a veterinarian put on like a glove to check like a cow? Like
yeah, it's like a plastic bag.
Yeah.
It's a body glove.
You know, it was two hands that you put on like a vest, and so you would put the gloves on, and they're like, all right, cool, now you need to cut the bag. So they gave me a giant bag of like coleslaw cuttings.
Wait, so it wasn't like a big ass stick you just like mix it with? You have to like literally just dig in there.
Yeah, they told me you need to. I asked them like, where's the spoon? They're like, no spoon. You put your hands in there.
You are the spoon.
And you toss it. I wanted the spoon.
You gotta be the coleslaw.
Yeah, I was like, no way. Like this is disgusting. So, I mean, it was my first job. I'm not gonna tell them no. I'm like super influential.
So wait, is this where that phobia or just your hatred towards coleslaw was created, or did you beforehand? This is where it was created.
Okay. Like I never cared for it because I was just like, who wants wet salad? Like
yeah.
It's gross.
So it wasn't until this incident.
It was until this incident. So I got the bag of veggies, cut it open with a box cutter, dumped it in the bin. There's no liner in it. It's just a bin for coleslaw. It said coleslaw on the outside. Like it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
And then they gave me this giant ketchup packet of mayonnaise. And
a bag? Okay.
A bag. Oh, it's clear, and it didn't look white. It was like an off yellow. And I'm like, there's something wrong with it. And they're like, no, don't worry about it. Just cut it open and pour it in. So I'm like, all right, no big deal. So I went ahead and like cut the bag open, pour it in there, and then they're like, all right, go ahead and start mixing it.
I could just imagine the smell.
Oh, it was
man.
disgusting. I hate mayonnaise in general, and then having to be face to face with it is horrifying for me. And so I had to. At the time, I was tiny. So up until I'm 6 foot now, but when I was a freshman in high school, I was 4'11". When I was a sophomore, I was 5'3". And then from junior year to senior year, that summer, I went from 5'3" to 6 foot. So I had a giant growth spur. So I was 4'11" at the time, and they told me, all right, go ahead and start mixing it. So I
jumped in there.
Yeah, I like the bin, the end of the trash can was at my hips. So I needed to get to the very bottom. So I'm in there and I'm trying to, like the bin is like slipping and stuff, and I'm trying to mix this thing, and the smell hits me.
You're in this fucking bin.
I'm in this fucking bin. And
how big is this bin?
It's a giant trash can like the one we have in the stockroom.
And you were in it. They made you get in it.
Not in it, but I was hanging over it. Like I was laying over it, trying to like toss this fucking salad. And so that morning, I was like, okay, like I had to go to work. So I woke up with my brother because he had to go work at a bank, and he made me breakfast. And I'm like, all right, no problem. I'm like, if you don't know this about me, I don't like eggs. I don't typically eat breakfast, but I'll eat the hell of a bacon taco. So my brother made me like 4 bacon tacos with like 2 or 3 strips each, and I'm like tearing it up. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like I went on a full stomach, and I was in there, but the fumes of the smell hit me, and I just started dry heaving. I'm sitting in there, like I'm just dry heaving, just thinking about tossing this stupid thing, and it's everything. I'm claustrophobic at the same time, and I just hurl inside the coleslaw.
Kept mixing it.
I didn't want to get fired, so I mixed that shit in there. I just kept mixing it. Yeah, it was
some spice up in that.
It was disgusting. It was chunks of tortilla and bacon in it, and I just kept mixing it until you couldn't tell that there was tortilla or bacon in it. And I served that motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's bad.
I hear now from some of our coworkers that work at restaurants, like if anybody finds out that you did anything stupid, there's a fine that you could pay, even if you like say, "Oh, I spit in your food." Lucky this was 17 years ago.
Yeah.
And allegedly, you did this. Just
allegedly, yeah. Or maybe I'm just making a story.
Yeah. Still follow us.
I mean, I had to serve it, so I didn't want to get fired. So
yeah, and it was a huge batch of coleslaw. You don't have to do it again.
Yeah.
Why waste it? You know.
Yeah.
And as I worked, I just saw it go out the door, and that is my.
Like maybe that would have given you some comfort. It's leaving. It's leaving me.
Yeah, you're in me now. I'm in you.
You are me.
Yeah, I don't know. It was traumatizing.
Now, did this incident happen? I mean, you said you were there for 4 months. Was this the beginning of your time being there, or is this towards the end already? Is that like a deciding factor why you left?
Well, I mean, it was probably like 2 or 3 weeks into the job,
Oh, shit.
and I mean, they had already even scheduled me like 4 or 5 days a week. And I would go in at 10 a.m. if I was opening, or I'd go in at like 5 if I was closing.
Okay.
And I mean, it was just weird to have to go in at 8 o'clock in the morning to go do this. So
especially at that age, it feels like it's so early, and you just don't want to do anything past like 12.
I mean, I wanted to sleep in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're so used to having this routine, right? Before college and shit.
Yeah.
High school.
It was traumatic. So served it, and manager comes over, and I'm crying. I'm like, I would never do that again. I don't want to do this. It wasn't tears because I was traumatized. It was tears because I had just thrown up in the food. So, yeah, it was weird, and I'm not proud of it, but it is something that when somebody says like, hey, you want some coleslaw? I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, my first job wasn't. I don't know if I haven't had very many jobs, but my first job wasn't exciting. I mean, I was there in the mall, Zoomies, right after high school. You know, working. If you could even want to call it a job, they would give me 4 hours a week. You know, but I mean, I just worked at Zoomies.
You don't have any gross stories like David?
No, it's not many. No, not very many gross stories. A lot of weird incidents, as in like. Not gonna drop names, but I was first learning how to run the register, right? And slow day out there in the outlets, and I was out there, no customers for a block of 3 hours, right? Somebody comes in, I needed something. The supervisor was in the back, saying he was doing something in the stock room. I'm like, okay, the customer needed something. I didn't know how to answer it. I had to go back there. As I'm walking back to the door, I open it. It only creaks open about a foot. His foot stops it like a little block, and he looks over. I look in, 2 dudes, supervisor and a friend, holding tall boys, drinking in the stock room. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Dang.
This is what you're doing back here? I'm like, okay, I'll be right there, bro. Close the door, and I'm like, come back out. That's like the only weird.
I was going to go a different direction.
No, that was. I mean, I don't know why they trying to get into a vibe, but that's the only incident really that really happened there. Not really interesting. My second job was the more interesting one when I was working up north, but I don't need to get into that right now. So, be another time there.
That's crazy. So you worked at that store, and how long were you there?
About a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Ouch! And they only give you 4 hours a week.
I mean, unless it was peak season. Yeah, even if it was peak season, I'd get 18 hours, maybe 20 hours. But I mean, I was at school too, and I mean, not financial aid paid for everything. Really, wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
had enough for gas, some food,
Essentials.
Yeah, Vans.
Nice.
Get some shoes.
Yeah, my first job was there at the outlets as well, as another shoe store, and I was there for like 2 years maybe, before it closed down, and yeah, it was pretty chill there. I mean, I would get more hours than 4 hours, but
Yeah.
it was pretty cool, especially because the manager would come in, clock in, and then just leave for the day.
But you were an associate,
Yeah.
a sales associate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the assistant manager would just be cool. It didn't get too busy. It didn't get too slow where there's nothing to do. It was a cool vibe.
Yeah. And see what I enjoyed about going from my first job to my second job in the machining fabrication industry is how much craziness happened in that fabrication shop, dude. Like, I mean, we would operate we'd operate forklifts. We had a lot of machinery and stuff. I'm 19, 20 going into this job, right? And we would do, I mean, there was no cameras in at the time. We would do shit like My friend would get on a forklift. I'd be on the forks of this forklift. He'd lift the forks all the way up in the warehouse,
Shit.
50 feet,
Oh no.
100 feet, like, and I'm up there, just like, all right, I've had enough. Yelling down, all right, get me down. Turn off the forklift, they leave, and I'm just up there on. So like weird, stupid shit like that, like yeah, I worked, but I was like also experiencing some ridiculous shit with some crazy rednecks, and I'm the only Mexican, on my
So
shit,
of course
crazy
they're the
stuff.
ones that put you up there.
No, I put myself up there because I wanted it. I was like, oh, I'm down, and they left me up there.
What if you had died?
Yeah,
How would they cover it?
I mean, it's just the Mexican.
yeah, just the Mexican get another one. Yeah.
My favorite videos are the ones of forklift operators where they're like backing up into something and they hit a pillar or something.
And just mayhem?
The
It's-
whole
dude.
like warehouse just falls down.
I was so worried about that happening to me so many times. And there was so many cases where it would get close like that. That was just
Yeah.
my asshole just tighten up,
Especially
dude.
like the beer ones where like they're like working at a beer warehouse.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then you just see the wave.
And everything just opening, exploding. Oh,
Yeah.
my God, dude, that's the worst thing.
Those are the best videos.
I've had incidents where I'm picking up a load, and it's so heavy that this forklift lifts from the back tires. It lifts up, and I'm like, oh, shit. It comes back down. Okay, I drop it. I'm like, I'm not doing that ever again.
Yeah.
Trying too many loads, like, oh, no, that stuff's crazy, man.
I wouldn't know what to do with it. I would just be like, I want to go.
I've never had it. I would say that was my first actual job because I did so many different things that I had never even thought about that I didn't even really learn in school. Like I was just like, all right, go out there, and I learned, and it was pretty fun. But other than that, I mean, my first job wasn't that amazing. It was, or not that it should be amazing, but there wasn't weird situations where.
Was that the first place you had ever applied?
Zoomies?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't apply anywhere else. And if anything, this is the weird thing about it. One of my good friends, Juan, he's my old audio engineer, the one that lives in Beaumont now. Me and him were both trying to work there. So we both applied, whatever. He got a call back. I didn't. And then he told me, hey, man, he said they called me to go interview. We're doing a group interview. Let's go into the store. There's a line. He said, just come here. Just come to the store. Come inside and tell him you got the call back. And I did that. They didn't even call me back, dude. And I went in and I was like, he said, ask for Nick. Oh, no, ask for Diego. My bad, Diego. And I was like, okay. So I was like,
I know
hey.
Diego.
Yeah. And then, so he's like, oh, you here for the interview? I was like, yep. All right, line up. And I got the job.
Okay, question. Because I used to work across Zoomies back when I was at Katy. And I was walking out one day with my assistant manager, and I'm like, we're in the parking lot, and we see these kids, and they're like, and I talked to, her name was, what was her name? I think it was like Bev or something like that. I walked by, I'm like, hey, what are y'all doing? And she's like, interviews. And they had them like walking around like dogs, and like, she was like, show me your war face, and she's like, she yells in the associate's face, and the associate would yell back, and she's like, nope, you don't want the job enough. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? That was like the weirdest.
They wouldn't do that with us, but they were always trying to like. I can see something like that happening up north, but like within the Zoomies store thing, you've seen those memes about Zoomies employees and
Bryson.
yeah, bright like. It's like a weird little niche of people who like, they're cool. They want to be so cool that it's uncool to be cool, but they're super cool.
Yeah, I've never walked into a Zoomies and felt comfortable just because.
Yeah, it's
just the vibe.
Yeah, it's weird. Like their vibe is too much. They're trying to like, so I was just like, I didn't really fit in there.
I actually heard an interesting story about the Zoomies there at the outlets. At that, I don't know. My buddy used to work there, or he had a buddy that used to work there, but he said that they would give discounts to girls that would show them their tits. I'm pretty sure it's just like a.
What?
That's not surprising to me from just working in a Zoomies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just like a story that you've heard somewhere, and then somebody repeats it, and then it becomes fact.
Yeah, twist it up or something.
Yeah,
Lost in
but
translation.
Because the meme that I always see is like, okay, somebody's shopping in Zoomies and they have a girl has a pair of shorts, and the guy's like, those shorts would look really cool with this grip tape. Trying to build a sale, but they're just like, oh, it's just so bad. I laugh at those so much because I've kind of not that I've seen it firsthand, but I've been in the Zoomies, and any Zoomies I go to, I get the same feeling every time, and I'm just
Yeah, I remember this store I used to work at. It was a sports store, kind of like a Nike or a Reebok or whatever. I remember one of the dressing rooms. I opened it. I opened one for a customer. It smelled like shit. I was just like, oh, okay, it smells pretty bad. Somebody must have farted. You know, it's an outdoor mall, so not a big deal. Open the other one for you. Open the other one. Go back to the first one. Spray it down with Febreze. An hour or so later, somebody's like, hey, can you use the fitting room? Sure. Go back to the same one. It still smells like shit. So I was like, okay, there's something wrong in here. I'll open up the other one. Come back, check it out. I come back and I look under the bench in the fitting room, and there's like a pile of shirts in the corner. So it's like me not thinking anything.
they're just a pile of shirts, right?
Yeah, it's a pile of shirts. I reached in, it's wet, like soaking wet, and I was like, okay, pulled it out, and it's a turd just covered in shirts.
A mojon.
Yeah, and I just dropped it, closed the fitting room. Called manager. I was like, hey, I found this in the fitting room. He's like, all right, cool. Grab some gloves from the restroom, clean it up. I was like, no.
Oh my god, you should have just left it where it was. Let the next guy figure it out, or you should have let a customer go in. You like open the door for a customer, they go in, they discover it,
and then I was like, oh, so I should just throw away the shirts, right? And it's like, no, save it, put it in a bag because we have to damage it out. And I was like, okay,
just keep the tags and just get rid of it.
no,
Oh
he's just
my
like
God.
save everything. And I was like, oh,
That's
okay,
disgusting.
yeah.
First jobs are kind of weird, I guess.
That's,
First jobs.
I mean, it's, knock on wood, but it's been a good 2 years maybe. No. Yeah, 3 years maybe that we haven't had a kid shit in the store. and it always happens when me and Rick are there, and it's always diarrhea. And it's bigger than the puddle is bigger than the kid. Like, it is
Yeah.
the worst thing.
So
And
speaking of fecal situations in the workplace,
Shitty situations.
dude, shitty situations in the fucking workplace. When I was working up there, I worked night shift. There was a day shift, right? Around 4:30, we would switch our shifts, but day shift always had like 20, 40 people stacked employees. You know, night shift we had like 10 of us.
Yeah.
So we knew who was who, right? We knew all this. There was just 2 restrooms. There was the clean restrooms for the plant managers and stuff, but we could go in there too. And then there was like a back restroom by the welders area where it was just not taken care of. It was just bad. You know, I mean, you imagine being a welder under a hood all the time, and then just anybody working. You're not going to walk across the warehouse to do your business. You got to get it done right now because you're also trying to meet some type of quota for a quantity of product, right? There was when I don't remember if it was me or my friend Dax went into that back restroom, and he came back. He was a welder at the time, and he said, "There is shit on the walls in the back restroom." And we're like, okay, so we go check. Like, we were like, okay, like how much shit? You know what I mean? Fucking like a hand smear. Like, you can tell. You know how when they do the paint, like handprints with paint kids, you can see like a fucking smear, like someone's hand, like someone accidentally got it on their hands, and we were like, holy fuck.
that's
And their first thought is to just like, oh, let me just wipe it on this wall.
they didn't
I
sacrifice
guess,
the sock,
dude.
They
They were just going for it, or maybe they didn't have enough toilet paper covering their hand. They wiped, they got some on their hand. They're like, oh shit,
that's a lot of shit too.
That's a lot of shit. That's what I'm saying,
To
man.
get on the wall.
But yeah, man, it's just a shitty situation sometimes.
Okay.
Literally, with shit.
Total tangent, but one time me and Rick used to go see UFC fights at Buffalo Wings and Rings there in Westago, and one time I was like, all right, cool, had a few beers, a few of those big old beer tubes, and I'm like, all right, cool, so I had to go take a piss, run, and I have a thing where I don't pee at urinals because I have like a 4th grade trauma that happened to me. So I have, if I'm going to use a public
got a
restroom, it's
lot
got to
of
be
trauma.
in the stall. It has to be in the stall.
Uh-huh.
So I went in there and I opened the door and I'm like, oh shit, there was a turd that was about this thick standing straight up out of the toilet, and the tip of it was out of the water like an iceberg.
Did it wink at you?
No. I looked at it. I was like, "Holy crap!" Like, I'm not gonna flush that. That's majestic. Like,
Yeah, that's someone's
I was
art.
like, that. Yeah, I was like, man, that must have hurt coming out. So I closed the door. I'm like, fuck.
Sorry to bother
I
you.
go into the next stall
So human.
to go take a piss, do my business. Some guy walks into the stall and goes, "Oh shit!" And he's like, I'm not flushing that." So he walks out. He appreciated the art. I finished taking a piss. He went into the stall after me. Anyways, I go back out into back into the restaurant. We're watching a few more beers. I have to go drain the main vein again. Take off. Go back. Open the stall again. It's still there after an hour, dude. Nobody.
Everyone's
flush
respecting it. This is some
Everybody
South Park.
respected
Stan Mars said they're spraying it with a water bottle.
Yeah,
Keep it
spritzing
structure.
Yeah. Oh man, it was. That was
Oh god.
Oh man.
That's good, man. Yeah, that's fucking.
So, what was your topic, Fernie?
It's kind of the same lines of jobs. I don't know if you saw the news story. That's this guy in somewhere here in Texas. Actually, he was working at a barbecue place and as a server, and he got his receipt back from the customer. You know, sent a tip, whatever, and it said, "We don't serve terrorists. Or we don't give tips to terrorists," or something along those lines.
What part of Texas was this?
I don't know, somewhere up north. I don't have my phone with me, so can't find the story. But just because his name was like Khalid or something,
Wow, dude.
yeah.
I'm just assuming. I'm joking.
And it turns out that the guy, he didn't have a rude customer that wrote that on the receipt. It was him. He wrote him himself, and it got like national coverage and all this other stuff.
How did they find out though that he wrote it himself?
Oh well, he confessed
Oh,
to doing it. So I'm guessing they probably caught him on camera because the restaurant launched an investigation and they banned the customer from the thing. So I'm pretty sure the customer was like, "Hey, this didn't happen," or whatever.
I love your food. Yeah.
But I don't know. Like there's a lot of injustices going on, and I just don't get how people can get off on playing the victim when there's other people that are suffering the same kind of thing. Like, you know, especially like how things are now with just politically. Like, what do you gain from doing something like that?
What, playing the victim card thing?
Yeah.
Like the server writing that?
Yeah.
Doing victim, like maybe he saw the situation, he's like, oh, maybe I can get away with something. Like what am I going to get out of it?
Yeah.
Maybe they see I don't know, maybe they see like a result that they're going to get something from it. I mean.
Yeah, I'm guessing they didn't leave a tip, so it was like, oh, I'm going to get a tip this way.
Yeah, I mean.
I don't know. I hate when people play the victim card. And I mean, I don't know what kind of outcome he was trying to get. Obviously, he got national news. He's on the Washington Post. I've just looked up the article. It doesn't say where it happened.
But I don't think that's what he wanted with his name, right?
No.
You're on, yeah, you have the attention, but you did a horrible choice. Like you made a horrible choice of doing something like that. And now.
Yeah, because it's not, I don't know, it's just dumb. I just wanted to bring it up because I just feel like there's some things that you shouldn't mess around with, and especially like racism. Don't do that, even if like forward or trying to pick it on yourself. I don't know.
He's just trying to be opportunistic. He's just trying to take advantage of the way the government's being run right now with Trump in office, and all these viral videos, depending on what sites you follow, where it shows just people being racist towards each other and saying, oh, well, they're obviously a Trump supporter. But you don't know. There's no context as to how the conversation happened or how the confrontation happened. So, I mean, it's just sad to even think that people are going to stoop down to that level to have to.
Yeah, of course. Especially when like nobody wants to not say like, oh, you're not being suppressed, or you're not being you're not getting racism like towards you. Like nobody wants to say that, you know. So when it happens, of course people react like, oh, fuck that person that's doing it. But when you cry wolf, then you don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, also we're living in a time where attention is the new entrepreneurship. Like attention is the thing that people are striving for. It's like attention is now beating the currency.
Oh
Because
yeah,
with
sure.
attention you get the money, right? So I mean, imagine we're constantly on our social media seeing the people that we like to see, whether entertainers or whatever it may be, and we see this number of how many viewers or followers they might have. I mean, in the moment you're not really thinking about it, but maybe subconsciously that's making a change in the way your brain operates. So that guy was maybe just a piece of him was seeking attention, and he realized he messed up, so he confessed, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
just a piece of attention, maybe, man. I mean,
yeah, I mean, if you have something to call out, like racism, like, hey, call it out. No big deal. But just if you're gonna do it, make sure that it's truthful.
yeah.
Sorry, that's kind of a downer subject from what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I guess that's a perfect way. I guess it stemmed a lot of different ideas from us into the topic I wanted to talk about. I saw this trending thing on my feed that said there was a possibility of a second civil war being started in America. I mean, first before I dwell into the topic, I mean, okay, let's separate that. Well, I mean, how would you think a second civil war would play out if it was happening? It's happening right now, right? Let's say it's happening right now.
okay,
A second civil war in the States.
I called it.
what?
I called this too. That's why when we talked about when we first introduced the topic, I was like, okay, I know where I'm going to stand because I called it too. Because Facebook was divided, at least on my feed, when Trump got elected. And I was like, holy shit. People are calling each other out saying you're a stupid motherfucker and being racist. I'm like, that's your tia. Like,
Yeah.
you know? And it's all in my family. And so I was like, oh wow, like some people are willing to die just to say that their guy won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and it doesn't have to be a religious thing. It doesn't have to be
A race thing.
a race thing, but I can see it happening. And so, I mean, with that alone, with people's opinions, and like I find myself that I'm centered left, just ever so slightly. I have conservative values, and I also have like liberal views, but I see myself in right in the middle. But and so I don't know, man. I don't know why people can't just be a decent fucking human being.
It's too many people, man.
So okay, this Civil War thing, where did it come from?
It was just a random thing on Twitter because it was connected to Alex Jones, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, of course.
That's what I'm saying, that it was connected to Alex Jones. That he was predicting, I don't know if you know Alex Jones, people, but I don't know, I was going to say he's a cook or a prophet, right? Cook as in K-O-O-K. A cook, is being just somebody who's just
a kook.
A kook, just being crazy, bizarre, like just
Conspiracy theorist.
just weird, yeah. Or a prophet, because he does have a lot of listeners and followers. And I mean, if we took from this situation with the server, there's people out there that have a different mentality, right? They have a different way of thinking that can see how some of his news stories, they're probably like, oh, this is true.
Yeah, this is the
This
truth.
is the truth. This is happening, Picklegate, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know what that means, but I'll go with
you've
it.
never seen Picklegate, Alex Jones. Okay, we'll get into that another time. But yes. See, I also see the whole a second civil war happening. There's too many snowflakes. No, not snowflakes, but it is fucking hot, dude. What are we gonna be out there trying to kill each other in the heat?
Oh, okay. So you're just saying like there's not gonna be no fighting because people be like, you know what? Let's do it the weekend.
It's gonna be a social war,
Well,
a social media war.
That's what's going on right now. There's like a culture war with like memes and stuff. Like it's always the trolls online trying to trigger the snowflakes and
Snowflakes.
and it's I don't know. I don't think it's productive just because everything that's going on, there's a lot of serious things going on, and they're just like dumbing it down to memes, which some memes are great. I love memes, but you just can't conduct yourself politically through memes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it's sad.
But that's the thing though. Like our president
Is a whole meme.
is a meme. Is a living meme, but he's tweeting. You know what I mean? Like what president ever It's such a crazy time to be alive, is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, and I don't think he's done like a face-to-face interview, except that that's not with like foreign leaders. An interview like a I don't know. I'm not trying to say it, but it's just all his policies are just through text. Through Twitter, and like I don't know if you guys saw this video where it's like, oh, Vladimir Putin's coming to the White House, and the national security advisor was at a summit or at a convention, and he found out through Twitter.
Oh my god,
dude!
Like the
people
guy
on this cabinet have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and now they're doing the whole like Trump says one thing and he's like, oh no, I didn't say that. It's like, we have you on video. There's a video. Like if there's video of me right now, I'll be like, hey, what's up? My name is Fernie. And then I turn around, it's like, my name's not Fernie.
The presidency and this whole political system is like, it's like we're going to a hangout. Fern's not invited, right? And he finds out through Facebook, what the fuck, guys? You guys fucking went to the hangout? Where was I? That's literally happened with our presidency.
And then I turn around and be like, yeah, I was there.
Yeah, I was. No, you weren't. Like, we took a group photo with, you know what I mean? It's like some weird shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't want to get into politics right now, but it's crazy how it's so easy for them just to like lie, and people are taking them to task, and there's other people just like, nah, it's cool. I don't know. What other topic you want to talk about?
No, I'm undecisive with Alex Jones. Like, is he that kooky, or is he a prophet?
Yeah, like
Because okay,
because some of his shit is outlandish. A lot of his shit is outlandish. It is all.
He called Barack Obama a homosexual vampire who runs.
He's great with words.
Like this.
Wasn't he the same guy that said that there was water was making the frogs gay? Because there was
Yes.
what was it? Fluoride in the water is making frogs gay, and during his divorce court date, he couldn't remember his kid's name because he ate too much chili that day. It's like, oh, I can't remember my kids' names because I ate too much chili.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like the whole Picklegate thing. All right, let me get into it.
Okay.
He's calling it Picklegate because I think it's a Watergate, right, with Nixon and shit. Well, he takes it off of it. It's a play on that. He's talking about a time where Hillary Clinton is on a talk show. I think Conan, I don't remember what. And the host tries to get her to open a jar of pickles. And she's over here over-exaggerating, like, trying to open it. Opens it, right? And she like, falls over, and they get it over. And Alex Jones is like, what is going on here? He's breaking down this video of Hillary Clinton opening a pickle jar. He's like, I didn't hear a pop. You know when you open a pickle jar, it's like vacuum sealed. He's like, that's not a real pickle jar. Like that's what I'm saying. This weird outlandish, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna test it out here. Let's see if I can do it. He gets a pickle jar, and he's like, so when I open it, you're gonna hear a pop. It's gonna pop right with his hands, and he's like, I can't open this. This is literally happening right now. I can't open it right now. And it's just
Hillary Clinton's a lizard.
Hillary Clinton is a bisexual outer space extraterrestrial, like just crazy stuff. But he's so sincere about it, is what I'm saying. Like,
like I said, with the whole court date thing, or the whole him being in court to get custody of his children, because his wife is even, I'm surprised. He says he's just playing a character, but he goes on the show. He's like, no, this is the truth. I'm telling you the truth. And he's kind of dangerous because he's the one that started the whole Pizzagate thing, where there's like a pedophile ring in the bottom of the basement of some pizza place in Washington
D.C. Did you hear about this?
No.
And one of his
Pizzagate?
One of his listeners went to this place with a gun and started. I don't know if he shut up the place or he threatened to. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go save these kids. It's like, okay, your heart's in the right place. Like, but this isn't
that's
true.
radical as fuck.
This isn't true. And we're talking about Facebook. Well, not talking about Facebook, but Facebook. Alex Jones denied that Sandy Hook happened, that Aurora happened, like all these kids that are dead because of a gunman. He's like, no, it's just the government doing a false flag operation. We know it happened. There's proof of it happening. Like, there's kids that are dead. Parents are missing their kids. But he's still, like, throwing that, like, oh, that's a lie. And Facebook is trying to fight the whole fake news thing but they still allow Alex Jones, a known conspiracy theorist that just tells lies on their platform, and they're like, no, he's good.
He also called out after the last shooting. What was the last shooting?
I don't know. I can't remember. There's been so many.
So that's, or I'll say Orlando. That's no. The concert in
No, it was the one
Vegas?
where they said that the main kid who was like the spokesperson for the school,
Stoneman Douglas in Florida.
maybe, but they were saying that he's like a CIA agent's
Oh, Parkland, yeah.
son, and that they made him go out there, and we have footage of him saying, the government wanted me to say this, or they told me to say this, and I don't know, he stirs the pot so much that I don't know what to believe. He also thinks that 9/11 was an inside job, which I believe.
I mean,
So I don't know. Is he a kook or is he a prophet?
I don't think you should give him that much credit. Like, he is a straight up.
yeah, prophet is a ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to
just
say
saying
he's
because of the Civil War, but yeah, I mean,
I think he's a fucking kook.
everybody made fun of that whole Civil War hashtag or thing on Twitter. Like, I saw so many tweets out of like, oh, this person went here, so I bought an ice cream, and that's the Civil War. Like, it's just something like that. It's just something like that. People were making fun of it because it's just so crazy.
Yeah.
But okay, say there was a Civil War, how would the country be divided? Would it be like straight in the middle, like north or south, or would it be like?
It would be like three ways. Texas would be fucking. Texas would be holding themselves down.
Would it be like that meme with the dog? Like, if a dog were to wear pants, how would they wear it? Was it
Like on his legs or just on his bottom?
Yeah, just bottom half or just the back half?
I think it would have to be internal. It's so mixed. I mean, if you look at obviously
It is so mixed, man.
Texas is a red state, but the Valley voted 85 or 87% for Hillary. Like, it's a very Democratic area down here, but the rest of the state is more conservative. And so, I mean, even my cousins who was in the military, and everything that the military says is right because they told it to him directly. He's a Marine. He's crazy. He's got a lot of mental issues. That, like, I don't know. It sucks because, like, my family was going to war online, calling each other stupid and saying, you need to apologize to your mother, and then the mother's like, my son can believe in whatever he wants to because he can, but she also voted Democrat, and he's calling her dumb, and all Democrats or Demo-rats or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
Just, it's so petty. I don't know. It might divide the country. Maybe there might not be an actual war with, like, bloodshed.
Yeah.
Maybe there will.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's probably just a cultural war where somebody believes one thing, and then there's all these facts, and people can't accept it. Like, I don't know, and then you just call people names online, and I think that's the worst it's gonna get. I mean, hopefully that's the worst it's gonna get, because I'm not trying to fight anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll happen, man. Not in this country, should
No.
I say? Not in this country. I think.
No, I think there's too many influential people as well. They're gonna be like, hey, this went too far. I mean, I hope people would be like, no, this has gone too far. Let's just calm down.
Yeah, like I think a piece of me pretends to picture that, like, there's going to be an obstruction that's going to stop the entire cycle of the regular person going to work, and, you know, like when you're going somewhere to a store somewhere, and then a certain highway is blocked off, you have to get off, so there's a giant junction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I expect like something like that's going to happen with our country, but no, every day is still the normal thing. I don't think we're ever going to just see some extraordinary something.
I think a good example of why it wouldn't happen, it was like Hurricane Harvey hit Houston, and people from everywhere just came in and helped rebuild and clean up, and people brought boats, got people out of places. Nobody asked, like, hey, are you a Republican, Democrat,
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, we literally went to that comedy show, and there was people here from Florida,
Yeah.
helping the flood victims from that rain that we got. And, you know, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they don't care.
Yeah, they had a good time. Seemed like it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, like, most of the things that you see online, I feel like it's just the vocal minority. like, sure, we can disagree with your neighbor or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's still your neighbor. You're gonna say hi, invite him. Maybe you don't even talk to him, but you're not gonna egg his house or do anything to hurt them.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't live naive. You can't be naive.
But you can also just like always live in fear of what you don't know.
I mean, what was it, like 2 weeks ago with that video of the guy who threw a couple, like they were out, so some teenagers were sitting at Whataburger, and this guy walks up and says, "You can't wear that great Make America Great Again cap in here," and he takes the cap away from him and throws a drink in his face, and it's two little teenagers. Like, that to me is that's
assault.
it's assault. Like, you can't do that. I mean, it could get even worse. I mean, death threats. I mean, you have.
I mean, there's those Trump rallies where, when he was running for president, where he was just like, hey, if you punch this person or if you hurt that person, you kick him out of here. Like, I'll pay for your bail.
What the fuck is that though? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's different because one was running for president. This other guy is just some random guy at a Whataburger. But I feel like people would just hang on to that, like, oh, see, liberals are dangerous or whatever, or they're starting a war. But at the end of the day, people are just like, no, I'm a liberal. I see that shit. I'll be like, yo, cut that shit out. Like, that's not what you need to do. Unless, like, your life is being threatened by this guy wearing a MAGA hat. Let's just look at it, be like, all right, cool. I don't agree with that guy, so I'm probably not gonna talk to that guy. Unless he's calling you names or whatever, then that's something you should do.
Yeah, it's because I also see that there's it stems from something, right? Like, the area you're raised in, of course, who raises you. So I guess, like, an example for me would be, like, in San Benito, there's a lot of areas that we say when I was younger, because I live in a cul-de-sac. It's pretty decent, right? It's nice living, decent for us, right? Working class, and, like, there's places like La Palma and La Gallina where it's lower class a little bit, I guess. I don't know what their financial status is, but that's where, like, you see more gangsterish cholo type dudes. Like, that mentality is what they're around, like. So these types of subjects are, like, some things that certain people don't even think about. It's not in their everyday lives at all from the friends that they surround themselves with. So when you get somebody saying on the internet a video of somebody speaking radically, even though they might be saying, Alex Jones, I'm just a trolling, I'm just a character, somebody with that type of mental state will just be like, yeah, he's right. I fucking hate this type of person with this type of this. I'm going to do something about it. And they already have different things that's in their history of how they were raised that's going to bring that out of them. So they just need some person with confidence to tell them, to not even tell them specifically, but just say a certain feeling, and they're like, I agree with that. I'm going to act on it.
Yeah, because everybody wants to be part of a group, and if that group is just spouting out stuff that you believe in that nobody else does, and especially online now where everybody's connected, you just be like, hey, I like red cars, and you belong to a red car group. And I think that's what Alex Jones and those type of conspiracy theories, like, I don't have a problem with, like, Republicans or conservatives getting together and saying, like, hey, I want these policies in place. Like, cool, that's what you want, fine. But when you start going to, like, hey, we need to get rid of this whole race of people, that's not cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
or when they start spotting conspiracy theories of, like, oh, these tragedies are fakes, and you need to buy a gun to protect yourself. And it's like, okay, like, that's a little.
Well, so that's the thing. Like, you say, let's get the whole thing with you see a post or something, right? Let's get rid of a politician might say, let's get rid of this whole race of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're also coming from the time where the normal society, like, not normal society, but just an average person like us, on Facebook and stuff, somebody will post a meme, I'm fucking dead inside. But it's jokingly, you know what I mean? They're joking, and we know that we accept it. We take it lightly, So imagine something like that. Even somebody says that, someone's going to take it lightly. We come in a different time. We're living in a weird time. Things are said or posted online, and they can be jokes. We know the context of them, so we take it in that fashion. So at what point do we start seeing certain...
Like the same thing happening politically?
Yeah, and then we take it lightly.
Yeah.
but it's fucking wiping out a specific species of animal or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, dude, we're living in a crazy time.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
All right. Well, that was.
Okay,
was-
so that was pretty. All right, just a little slight palate cleanser before we wrap up. Really quickly, I want to know something about like what do you do in this situation? So the other night I'm with my wife. We're talking.
Wait. With who?
My wife. I'm with my wife, and we're talking,
Uh-huh.
and we're cuddling, and I have my arm around her, and my right arm goes numb. I don't know what to do when you're spooning with someone. Like, what do you do with the arm? Do you hold it like this? Do you put it under the pillow and you're laying there like this? Or I just don't know.
Okay,
so
first-
typically I lay on it until I can't take it anymore, and then I'm like, all right, good.
All right,
good
yeah,
cuddle
yeah,
session, it's over.
This is a good market, man. We got to invent something over this because it's 2018, dude.
Well, here's the thing. I saw an as seen on TV clip of a guy who's like, we sell mattresses that have a slit in it.
Oh my
where you
dude,
could
I was
slide
just
your
literally
arm in
thinking
there,
about that.
and like you can wedge your arm in there, and you can like have a good cuddle sesh.
That's what I was thinking. Like, okay, the mattress, right? And then there's like a little, you can remove a piece of foam where your arm just chills, no numbness. You don't have to deal with that, and you can just cuddle. You know,
I see,
like
I
a
see.
Well,
spooning.
So it's like a divot, like or like yeah.
Well,
within the mattress
It's
or
not
however
like
it may
a
be.
cutout. It is a slit. Like
Yeah.
so, it's like a giant block of foam with a slit that, like, kind of like the way a cigarette box flips open.
Okay,
And you
yeah.
put your arm in there, and then you cuddle,
No numbness.
and no numbness, and it's like a normal feeling instead of laying on top of your
Yeah.
arm. So I'm just curious, how do you all cuddle? What do you do with that arm?
Well, first off, it depends on how long you've been in the relationship. If you're in, it's a new relationship, you're gonna be cuddling for hours. We're in it with 3 years or more. You're not cuddling for fucking more than 2 minutes. So that's done. We already solved the problem right there. Just stay in the relationship, and you'll realize you don't need to be fucking cuddling. But for those newcomers, what's the outcome? What's the solution?
I don't know. I like having her on my left side, so I do the under the pillow, but just at the edge where like her head's like right here, and my other mom's like of course like around her. So it's not under her head, so I can get out if I need to, just run away. But
Yeah, well, that's I guess it depends how you're laying, because if her back's to you, you got that.
You got
You got
she
that
her back to
arm
me,
underneath
so
the
we're
body,
supposed
you know.
to
And I
pull
fucking
down.
go through it all the time too. I'm just like, all right, I'm done.
and then you get the hair in her hair in your face. And, yeah.
Or I'll just be like, my turn. And she's big spooning now. So yeah.
Or just be like, all right, I'm done. Just turn away.
Turn
So
away.
What does she do? She's just like takes off her arm.
That's what I'm saying. We just need to get the cybernetics, so half machine, half human. Then we just lose the arms, just get some robot arms. Never go numb.
Make
Fuck it.
cuddling great again.
Well, at that point, you wouldn't even need a fucking girlfriend. You just have this cyborg arm masturbating. You're fucking. You don't need a girlfriend anymore. I needed that future. in my life.
There's a documentary. I don't know if it's on Netflix or somewhere else, but there's a documentary where they follow Japanese male adults, because they substitute their girlfriends for sex robots. Like they're not dating anymore because they have sex robots that are so realistic or feel like realistic that they don't even need to talk to girls anymore. Then their population is going down because
I
of
can
that.
believe that coming from
Japan.
Japan, because all that, like from what I've seen, is that they're advanced, or they're really interested in sexual technology and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that type of thing. So I can see how they can be advanced. Not advancing. I'm saying that you want to get
But
away from an actual woman.
I don't think I don't know if it's as taboo as it is here. Like just talking about sex, like people just like freak out. And I feel like it's more open there, especially with like anime and whatever.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, maybe you should go to Japan and look for one of those cybernetic arms.
Yeah, maybe that's the solution. Forget the numbness.
Forget the girlfriend. Dude.
Forget the girlfriend. Go to Japan.
You don't even need
Get
to
a
cuddle
doll.
now.
You don't even just put them in your closet.
Shut up, bitch.
Yeah. Maybe program something in them so when they reply back, yes, sir. You know,
And then
give
it
me
gets
a little more
it gets to the level
satisfaction.
of creepy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's pretty intense. But I that's another thing that I feel like we should be covering on this is the sexual aspect of life, as you know, sexual topics. That's fun to talk about to
Oh.
me.
That's for another podcast.
No, it's for another podcast.
Yeah,
No,
completely.
no.
After dark.
Another episode.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I want to talk about that kind of stuff because it's all kinds of things, you know.
It's the After Dark episode.
Hey guys, this is Skinemax, and
Jesus Christ. Well, guys, that was the very first episode of the Laugh and Death podcast. Again, I'm Dave.
Fern.
Alex, or you can call me Zella.
Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel. You want to go ahead and plug your stuff?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and plug it in right here. You can follow me on the Stay Unknown YouTube channel if you like watching the process of beat making. I make hip hop instrumentals, so you can check that out. But go ahead and follow Laugh and Death podcast first, and then we can plug the rest of our stuff in. But yeah, it was pretty fun this time. What do you think?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I should do it again.
Awesome. Well, if you liked what you heard, you liked what you saw, follow us at Laugh and Death podcast on Instagram, youtube.com/Laugh and Death, and we're out.
Later.
See you guys.
Guys.